when you come to prayer, don't just ask for material things. Ask for ideas, ask for wisdom, ask for things that are not tangible, things that are intangible, things of the spirit. And in those things, modern age advice says focus on yourself. Do only what makes you happy. But the ancient advice says that no, don't just do what makes you happy. But keep in mind, if you become their servant and you serve them and you listen to them and you answer them with good words, they will become your servants forever. Greetings once again and welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you do not miss when a new video pops up, right? Now, keep in mind, guys, that you are now available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, as well as on Overcast, right? And you can be sure to find us on any of those 6 different platforms. Now, also keep in mind, guys, that you are now available on TikTok at sinnersaved_by_grace, and you can be sure to follow us as well on that platform. Now, also, guys, keep in mind that you are now available on YouTube, and this is to my podcasters on YouTube at Ashley Gerera, and you can be sure as well to follow us there on that platform. Now today, guys, we are going to be talking about how we're back to leadership. Actually, we are back to leadership, right? And we're going to be talking about ancient times over modern times, right? We're all going to be talking about the ancient advice over the modern advice. Which one should you be following? Should you be following ancient advice, or should you actually be following modern advice? And that is what we are going to be talking about today, right? So it's actually an exciting one because we are actually now back into the book of Kings, and we're going to be reading from Kings chapter 12 verse 6 and 8 and going on and on and on like that, right? So yeah, but to find out more, guys, just stick around and find out more. So without wasting further time, guys, we are going to take our Bibles and open the book of 1 Kings chapter 12 verse 6, and we're going to read verse 6 and verse 7, right? And verse 6 and 7 reads as follows. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old man that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, How do ye advise that I may answer this people? Verse 7. And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and will serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants. Now you might be asking yourself, okay, so then what had happened for King Rehoboam to come to this point, right? Now this is a point whereby Solomon was no longer there, right? Now Solomon, it ended up in chapter 11 or 10, somewhere there, guys, where we established that in the previous episodes, right? And also, guys, keep in mind, if you have not watched the previous episodes where we talked about the strange man, guys, that one was an exciting one. The strange man, I'll leave the link right here so that you can be able to go and watch it, right? Where we talked about the strange man and how the strange man looks like, and how you as a woman can be able to avoid that, right? As well, we also talked about the strange woman, how to avoid her, how to meet her, and I'll leave the link as well right here so that you'll be able to go and watch it. But for today, guys, it is coming to a point whereby now the children of Israel, right, Solomon having been gone, and now his son has come into his stead, right? And his son is now supposed to reign over him, right? Since he is now taking the position, or the position of being a king, right? So now the son then comes into the position. And now the people come to Rehoboam and they complain. Point number 1 that I just want us to just put a keynote over there. They complain to him and they say, no, there's things that your father used to do, right? There is things that your father used to do, and he used to make us work hard and all these things, and our work was grievous with him, right? So now we have come to you and we have now asked you to lay down our burden, right? Don't be like your father. Don't make the burden that we're experiencing with your father come to us as well and be the same thing that you also experience in our modern day age. So then there's something that I have a problem with Solomon, right? There's something, and probably this is odd or whatever, guys, but there's something that I have a problem with when it comes to Solomon. So this guy, he's praised for all these things, right? And all these things. But what kind of a leader are you that when you are no longer there, people are now grievous about the way that you are leading people? Because look at this guy had all the wisdom, this guy had all the knowledge and all of that. But people, after he was done with the leadership things, they come to him and they come to his son and they start complaining and they say, you know what, the workload was too much, this, then this, and this, and this, and the complaints keep on coming. But that's a story for another day, guys. What kind of a leader are you that when you're now no longer there, people actually complain that no, what you were doing was not right? But story for another day, guys. But for today, guys, ancient advice versus modern advice. Now, when Rehoboam now goes to the old man seeking for advice, asking them, okay, so the people say I must put down their workload. What is it that I should do? And then the old man tell him that, you know what? And they spake unto him, saying, if thou would be a servant unto these people. Point number one, guys, as a leader. Remember we talked about this, guys, and we said as a leader, should you serve others or people should actually be serving you? Now this point comes back again here, guys, and we talked about it, and I'll leave the link right here so that you'll be able to watch it. But the point is coming back here. They say that if you will be a servant unto these people. Now you are a leader, guys, and it's saying that if you will be a servant unto these people and serve them, guys, when you come into the position of leadership, you don't go there so that people can serve you. No, guys, that is not what is going to happen. You don't do that because you want people to serve you and all of that. But now it is clear here in the Bible, and it is being repeated once again. If you serve them and you become their servant, right? And then they go further to say that and answer them and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. Come on, guys. Point. Just put a point there. When you serve others, right? When you put yourself in the service to others, right? Then they will serve you. But if you put your position in the point of saying, no, they must serve me, then there's nothing that's going to happen after that, guys. Actually, people are going to resent your leadership because all you are doing is to just gain favors, right? All you are doing is just to be gaining. There's nothing that you are returning to the other people. So as it is clear here, guys, according to the ancient advice, and this is not me who's saying this, guys, it is clearly written in the Bible. Right? I'm not the one who say this, but it's written in the Bible that if you become a servant unto these people and you serve them, right, and answer them and speak good words unto them, then they will be your servant forever. But now let us move on to modern advice. Now we've spoken about ancient advice. So what then is this modern advice? Now to find the modern advice, we're going to take our Bibles and we're going to go to the book of 1 Kings chapter 12. Verse 8, and also going to jump. We're not going to read verse 9, but we're going to jump from 8 and we're also going to go to 10, right? So, yeah, guys. Verse 8 reads as follows. But he forsook the counsel of the old man, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. Verse 10. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. And now whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father has chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Modern advice. New age advice. Now the people came with a complaint to the king, and they said, no, guys, listen to us, listen to our complaint. This is our cry. This is what we have to say about how the previous leadership was like, and we ask you to please improve on these things and these things and these things. Then we are all going to be good. But the king, in hearing all these things, he says, you know what, I am not going to do that. And he forsook the advice of the old man that told him that for these people to serve you, you have to serve them first, right? And then if you go further now and we read the modern advice, it says that, and he forsook the old advice and decided to go for the ones that they told him that, you know what, actually make it heavier for them. After when you have made it heavier with them, he says that when my father chastised you with whips, I will chastise you with scorpions, right? And this is a message that then comes to you today, right? So in our day and age, there's all these things of saying, you know what, focus on yourself, focus on yourself, focus on yourself. But when you focus on yourself, what are you really focusing on? Because let's take it in this mindset, guys. You yourself, you don't really know yourself, right? There's only one person who truly knows you, which is God, right? So now imagine you're focusing on someone that you don't really know of, because the person that you were last year is probably not the same person you are this year, right? So as you're going about the journey of life, guys, let us now change that perspective. Instead of just focusing on yourself, focus on God as well, guys. Focus on God, actually. Let that be the first thing. Focus on God, not just yourself, because you yourself, you don't know yourself. Some things that you've even done probably in the past, you're looking at them and you say, you know what, I cannot believe I used to do these things. So now when it comes to today, guys, do not just focus on yourself and look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to look at myself and only myself. And yeah, this guy decided to say, you know what, I'm not going to serve these people. Haven't been told. He forgot that these old people, it says that these old people were there when his father was there as well. So these old people could have clearly seen that this is what was making the people happy, and this is what made the people not happy. So when they told him these things, it was into his favor. Now also, guys, when it comes to modern day as well, which one could be the old advice that we might look at? Now the old advice that we could look at, guys, is the Bible, guys. The old advice that we can look at in our modern age is the Bible, because we can see the lessons that we're coming to getting from the Bible here, right? Things might have changed, technology might have changed, but human nature have not changed, guys. The way people operate has not changed. The way human nature has just basically not changed. The order of nature has not changed even today, guys. So these are things that we should look at, right? Don't just look at things from a far perspective, right? But also look at them and try to zoom in and try to understand what is really going on here. And this is what we then establish from this episode, right? So ancient advice versus modern or new age advice, which one are you going to go for? The old advice says that if you serve them, right, and you listen to what they have to say and you listen to their complaints, right? There are many companies that decided not to listen to what the customers really wanted, right? And now those companies are no longer there, right? But today, guys, the advice is coming to you today. Please make right choices, guys. Do not just become in the position of leadership so that you can only serve yourself, but also come into the position of leadership so that you as well can serve others. And that is our message for today as well, guys. So until next time, keep in mind, modern age advice says focus on yourself. Do only what makes you happy. But the ancient advice says that no, don't just do what makes you happy. But keep in mind, if you become their servant and you serve them and you listen to them and you answer them with good words, they will become your servants forever. And that is the message for today. Am I choosing you? Am I telling you which one you should choose? No, I'm not. Am I saying go this way? No, I'm not. The choice is ultimately yours. So keep that in mind as you go on about your life. Are you going to make better choices, or are you not going to make better choices? As long as you've heard this message, you will make the right. I believe, or I hope, you will make the right choice today. May God bless you. There are things that God has delivered you from, but why are you going back to those things? Look back at your life, right? And look at the things that God has delivered you from. Do not go back to them, because God one day will stand up and visit you.